Cover first Olympics. These are the people who made it unforgettable. Editor's note. A few of our reporters in Paris were covering their first Olympics. We asked what made the biggest impression during the 17 days of the Games. Paris. It was an amazing experience to cover my first Olympic Games. As someone who for years has meticulously planned schedules to maximize my Olympic streaming at home, getting to be here in person was a joy, and perhaps the highlight of my career. Two memories stand out. Prior to covering the women's synchronized platform diving competition, I was asked by a Chinese television station for an interview. They wanted my thoughts, as an American, about China's diving tandem of Quan Hongchan, 17, and Chen Yuxi, 18. The request was as natural as if I'd asked them about Simone Biles or LeBron James, but I politely declined, explaining how I didn't know much beyond names and reputations. Once the competition began, though, I understood. These two are a very big deal. Their performing in tandem from a 10-meter platform was the most beautiful and impressive thing I witnessed in these Olympics. The synchronization was flawless and stunning. Of course, they won gold in a route. And afterward, Chinese media swarmed the two teenagers, who sheepishly answered questions best they could between embarrassed smiles. It was a lesson to me about how sports can be both universal and surprisingly disparate. That on this big planet we've got, something so significant in one massive country can go mostly unnoticed in another. I'll admit, too, feeling a twinge of Olympic envy at the national pride displayed by other countries at venues, and the boisterous French fans in particular, just because it feels like we're such a mess back home, with too many influential politicians and polemics spreading anger and division for their own self-interest. I wish all Americans had been with me by the 18th green at Le Golf National, watching Scottie Scheffler, a PGA Tour star who has won millions, sob on the podium after winning a tournament worth only a tiny fraction of that amount in dollars. I can tell you that there is nothing like hearing the Star-Spangled Banner while in another country. Nothing. And when Scottie cried, my eyes watered up a bit too. I saw 16 different Olympic disciplines in my 19 full days on the ground, logged more miles on trains than I ever have in my life, and came away grateful for the professional challenge. After more than a decade covering the Detroit Lions for the Detroit Free Press, it was an interesting change of pace to spend 3 weeks reporting on new sports and new people. Touring the Olympic Village was fascinating. Watching world-class athletes win and lose and handle the highs and lows of competition was enlightening, and visiting Normandy with U.S. wrestler Mason Paris, whose great-grandfather stormed the beaches there 80 years ago, was an experience I won't soon forget. But what I'll remember most about these Olympics are the people. The Spanish soccer fans singing joyously on the train on their way to a game. The Australian kayak contingent dancing proudly on the banks of Vaya's Serman Lake after their flag bearer, Jessica Fox, capped her career with gold. Even the Greek reporter, I think he was a reporter at least, who burst into the media center looking to bum a cigarette for the country's wrestling coach. The long nights and early mornings weren't always pleasant, and getting a text from my 9-year-old asking when I was coming home so he could play catch almost broke me. But the Olympics were a reminder of the joys, big and small, we all meet in life, no matter who we root for or where we're from.